My name is Myra, and I lost my daughter Havi to Sachs January 20th, 2021. Havi was born on September 4th, 2018. She was our first daughter. When she was born, she was strong and beautiful and seemingly perfect. And at around a year old, we started noticing some developmental delay that Havi had experienced. And she wasn't making progress and eventually started regressing, at which point Havi saw a neurologist who diagnosed her with cerebral palsy. That diagnosis was ultimately incorrect, and a month or so later, on December 17th, 2019, we received the fatal and tragic diagnosis of Tay-Sachs, and we lost Havi just a bit over a year later. So before Havi was even an idea, I underwent genetic testing and learned that I was a Tay-Sachs carrier, at which point Matt sought testing for himself, I think 2 hours later. And what the geneticist recommended, and this is really important to understand, is that the geneticist recommended full sequencing of the gene. Unfortunately and devastatingly, the ordering physician simply ordered the wrong confirmatory test. And so the test that was performed only tested for the 5 or 7 most common mutations, of which Matt's was not included. And so we received a note that we were in the clear, and several months later, we were lucky enough to be pregnant. I think genetic testing and counseling is essential because when we embark on becoming parents, we want to bring healthy children into the world. And at this point, given what we know and given all of the scientific advances in medicine, we can screen for things that are life-threatening and scary and that no family should endure. And so getting the right testing, having really transparent and knowledgeable genetic counselors navigate what can be a really confusing time is maybe the most important thing about embarking on parenthood. I was 11 weeks pregnant with Kaya when we received Havi's Tay-Sachs diagnosis. Talked a lot about this idea of bringing another child into the world. We wanted Kaya to have a living sibling, and we knew that Kaya was always going to have Havi as her sister. And so we ultimately decided to pursue IVF. That's how Ezra was brought into the world. Go get tested. If you're thinking about starting a family, if you know that's something you want at some point in the future, it's so easy. It can be affordable. It doesn't need to be scary. It's simply a really, really essential act that I think is almost more like a public service, honestly, than anything else, and should just become a part of our nation's fabric. And I really hope that you and your partner are on board to be a part of this movement, because it's everything.